Hello and welcome along to episode 74 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg and joining me remotely is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. Charles, hello.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Just had my dinner, so got in from work a couple of hours ago. So yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
What did you have for dinner?
Thai noodle soup.
Oh, lovely. I don't really have much Thai food, but sounds quite nice. I probably would have enjoyed it. But yeah, we've got loads coming up in the show today. We will, of course, have a look back on that thrilling Liverpool game from Saturday. We've got loads of news and transfer news to go over as well before we look ahead to Leeds United's next two games. The first is at home to League One side Hull City on Wednesday night in round 2 of the Carabao Cup. And then after that, it's the Premier League. We turn our attentions to the Premier League. It's a game against Fulham at home at Elland Road on Saturday. We've got loads coming up here on the All Things Leeds podcast. So let's start by looking back on Leeds United's 4-3 defeat to Liverpool away at Anfield from last Saturday. Now, before the game, Charles, a loss probably wouldn't have bothered me as much because, it was away at Liverpool. I'd be thinking, of course, we're going to lose away at Liverpool. You'd expect us to lose that game. But, that defeat ended up actually being, a really tough one to take, really, because Leeds United were just so good. They did us all proud, did all the players. And, we deserved a point from that game, really, didn't we, Charles?
Yeah, I thought we performed very well. Unlike how we were in the last couple of seasons, we were very clinical with our chances, and with 3 shots on target, we scored all 3 of them. So those are those are the numbers you look for.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, obviously we had more possession than Liverpool. I think we had 51 or 52%. We had more passes. We had 460 passes. I think they had like 420 odd or something like that. So yeah, it was a really entertaining game, and a really good way to start the season, because the worst thing to do would be to turn up and just get battered straight away, and then everyone thinks, oh well, you're definitely going down. It's just like, well, no, we actually gave them a really good game. It was set pieces were let us down, like they always do, and in the end, but yeah, I would agree with you. I think we did probably deserve a point, although Liverpool were very impressive and they did create a lot of chances against us.
Yeah, Liverpool were very impressive, as were Leeds. I think it was just 2 poor defences, really, to be honest. I've got all the stats here for the game. So Leeds had 51.6% possession, completing more passes than Liverpool with 460 compared to Liverpool's 423. And as you said, we had 3 shots and scored 3 goals, which was just absolutely incredible because, last season we were so poor at converting chances. But to put all of our chances away in this game, it was incredible. And, to go away to the defending Premier League champions, and perform like that and, get results like that, stats like that, and, push Liverpool all the way. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And all credit to the players. They did us really, really proud, didn't they?
Yeah. It was very encouraging signs for the future. We've got a couple more slightly more winnable games coming up, so as we'll discuss. So it'd be great if we could take that kind of attitude and that kind of conversion rate, especially into these next couple of games.
Yeah. I'm sure the neutrals enjoyed the game on Saturday. I'm pleased that I think everyone now realizes how good Leeds United actually are, and that we are actually a very good team. And there was a lot of questions going into it, wasn't there? Will Leeds United perform how they were in the Championship? Will they be as open as they are? Because if they are really open, then they'll probably get cut to pieces. But we went there, stuck to the usual game plan, which we all said we were. People were questioning it, but Leeds fans know Bielsa's stubborn. He's not going to change his way. So we went there, did plan A, and yeah, it almost worked. We almost beat him. It was an incredible opening day fixture, an absolute classic. So yeah, let's delve right into the play-by-play. So Leeds were dealt with a blow heading into the game as a defender and club captain, Liam Cooper, was ruled out with an injury. He failed a late fitness test the day before the game. So hopefully Liam Cooper recovers well and quickly. And so that meant Luke Ayling was given the captain's armband, which I was really pleased for him. And Luke Ayling ended up having a having a really, really good game, did Luke Ayling. Did a fantastic job on Mane. At one point in the game as well, he nutmegged Mane, didn't he? He went to keep the ball in, just kept in, and then nutmegged Mane to play on. I thought Luke Ayling was absolutely fantastic in this game. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, it was really good. He made a lot of blocks. Mane was probably the least, I say least effective. Firmino didn't really do much either. Yeah, Mane was pretty ineffective for the majority of the game. Luke Ayling kind of kept him quiet. Of course, Stuart Dallas had a bit more torrid time against Mohamed Salah on the other flank. So, it was absolutely on fire in that game with Salah. Yeah, Luke Ayling performed really well. I thought, yeah, Callum Phillips had a really good game. Most of the players had good games, to be fair. It was just the corners are starting to wind me up now, if I'm being honest. The Van Dijk goal was just I know it's Virgil van Dijk, but you can't leave people unmarked at a corner.
Yeah. I mean, it was a poor defence, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Liverpool had that corner routine which is technically cheating, where they did it in the first half and the second half. The first half, when they scored from it, they had Van Dijk basically hang around the edge of the box, and then as whoever's marking Van Dijk, they would get Mane or Wijnaldum or Jordan Henderson, whoever was hanging about Curtis Jones in the second half, to deliberately impede the player chasing him by running across them, and so he gets a free header goal. They tried in the second half. Of course, Curtis Jones just threw Cox to the floor in the second half, so that's what they got the disallowed goal for. Yeah, it was, and the penalties were unfortunate as well. I thought the one early on in the third or fourth minute comes off his thigh, Cox's thigh, and hits him in the hand. I mean, he shouldn't have his hand up there anywhere. There's no reason for that. And I think if he hadn't have had his hand there, I think Mesley. I don't know if Mesley would have got over to that side of the goal, so that might have gone in anyway. So I'm not going to blame him too much for that one.
Yeah. I mean, he had a poor debut though, didn't he? Did good old Rockin' Robin. He had a pretty disappointing debut, to be honest, didn't he? I felt as though he grew into the game though, but especially at the start, I thought it was just a little bit shaky. But I mean, the whole the two centre backs, Pascal Struijk and Rockin' Robin, only met 3 days ago. Never played together. Pascal Struijk has never started in the first 11 for Leeds United at centre back. Remember last season, I think he started against Charlton at central defensive midfield. So you need to remember that these guys have only met each other a few days before the game and have never played as a centre back pairing together. So I think a lot of people seem to forget that. You need to remember that. But yeah, Rockin' Robin, I thought he had a pretty disappointing debut. What about you?
Yeah, I didn't rate his performance, especially in the first half. I thought the second half to go into it, but we did it a couple of times. Another big mistakes were made where every time it happened twice of a set piece there, it led to Salah's second goal, the wonder goal right in the top corner, and it led to the penalty in the second penalty in the last minute. They'd whip a free kick in, we'd make a poor defensive header which would basically land on the edge of the box with Liverpool players completely unmarked. Struijk did it for Salah's goal as well. You just head it to the edge of the box. Don't do that. Just head it behind. I know we're terrible off corners as well, but there's always a chance that the corner will go over, or Mesley will get to it, or a Leeds head will get to it. So, yeah, we kept that. The set pieces are a problem. They are a serious problem. Corners and free kicks, especially. I thought from open play, they had a few chances. I think Firmino's had that big one where, thankfully, Luke Ayling's legs got in the way to stop him from actually scoring. But by and large, Liverpool didn't threaten us that much from open play. Mainly because we were every time they got shots on, we were getting the blocks in. We were making tackles. We were jockeying well. So I thought, from open play we were all right. And there was that period in the second half, probably from just before we scored, probably about the 50th minute, so probably the 50th to the 70th minute, where I thought we were comfortable, we were okay. I didn't fear for us. And then obviously we got our second goal on the 66th minute or whatever it was. But after we equalised, and once it got to kind of the 80th minute mark, Liverpool kind of were piling on the pressure, and they were very much on top again from the 80th minute onwards.
Yeah.
So we've gone through all the defensive goals, so we've gone through all the negative stuff, so we can talk about the positive stuff now.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Leeds United were incredible, and yes, I guess it's positive that we were good defensively in open play. It's just set pieces again. We need to improve at set pieces, and I hated people who were saying, "Oh, would Ben White have done better?" I mean, one, you're never going to know that, and who knows, Ben White probably would have struggled, away at Liverpool, and like anyone else. So yeah, I don't think it's fair to draw that comparison really. I remember starting 11 though, we saw Patrick Bamford start ahead of Rodrigo. Were you surprised to see Bamford start?
Not even slightly. Bielsa loves starting Bamford.
Yeah,
he just does. It's his go-to. I actually think Patrick Bamford is the first name on the team sheet. I think he's absolutely the first person to go. But he scored, so that is his job.
Yeah.
He did score.
Yeah, exactly.
He had that chance he had that chance before he scored though, where he went in. He was kind of in a similar situation, and he tried to round Alisson, which kind of came to nothing in the end. Where should probably have shot. But he kind of made up for it by taking advantage of that horrendous Virgil van Dijk mistake, which I actually laughed at the time while I was watching the game because that was just really funny.
Yeah, and there's a fantastic photo as well of Van Dijk. There's a fantastic photo of Bamford. Looking at the goal, Van Dijk's looking disappointed, and Bamford's like, "Oh yeah, I've scored it." I love that photo. I set it up as my Twitter profile picture for about a day. I just loved the photo. I thought it was really, really funny. But yeah, I mean, I said it in the last episode, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bamford start, and I wasn't. I did want Rodrigo to start because I think Rodrigo, £27 million player, just sat on the bench, Champions League experience. He's just sat there. I felt as though he probably should have started, but, Bamford did start, and yeah, as you say, he scored a goal, so I can't really complain there. But yeah, 4 minutes in, Liverpool went 1-0 ahead. They were awarded a penalty. Handball was given against Robin. And this caused quite a lot of debate, really, afterwards. Was it a penalty, in your opinion?
No, because by the letter of the law, you're supposed to get more leeway when it comes to deflections, and it blatantly comes off his leg and hits him in the hand. So I want to. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, as a Leeds fan, but I don't think I want to give it. Yeah, I don't think it was a penalty, but when you're going away to the champions, you're not going to get those decisions, are you?
Yeah, I've got the rule here. So the rule on deflections with penalties. So the Premier League players will be allowed extra leeway when it comes to ricocheted handballs. It is often impossible to avoid contact with the ball if it has deflected off the body part of an opponent, teammate, or even another part of the own player. So a handball will not be awarded if the ball touches a player's hand and directly from their own head, body, foot, or the head, body, foot of another player who is close or nearby. So basically, the ball came off, Robin's knee and then hit his arm. So technically, looking at that rule, it shouldn't have been given. But in my opinion, I think it was a penalty. I think Mo Salah, if his shot is, just a few inches higher and it hits his arm straight away, and then there's a completely different argument there. There's no argument against that being a penalty. I think Robin's arm is just so far out. It's ridiculous how far out it is. It shouldn't be out that far, really, in my opinion. So, yeah, in my opinion, it's a penalty. His arm shouldn't be there in the first place. Yes, it came off his knee, but I think that's just a flaw in the rule book, really. Just a flaw in the rule book. I think for me, his arm is in, a position which, is quite possibly, shouldn't really be there. Unnatural position for me. So I think it was a penalty. That's obviously being biased. I'm saying it's not because I'm a Leeds fan, but in my unbiased opinion, I think it is a penalty.
I'm going to agree to disagree with you there. We'll move on to the equaliser, which is a lot more entertaining to talk about. It's our front line pressing their back line to the point where their midfield has dropped slightly deeper, which gives Calvin Phillips a space where Meslier obviously picks him out with the pass and he turns around. And I think we saw this last season. I think it might have been Blackburn at home last season where. Do you remember that goal where the one Jack Harrison scored where it came off the post? Off the inside of the far post. When he kind of hit it low and hard to the far post. It came in off the post. The one that Bamford touches down. It's quite similar to that because it's a long kind of a long ball from. Well, long ball's kind of reductive to describe this absolute piece of brilliance from Calvin Phillips, but it's a long ball to the to find Jack Harrison on the wing, who takes a brilliant touch, touches it round Trent Alexander-Arnold, England's right back, touches it round Joe Gomez as well, and works his way inside. And it's obviously on his weak foot to the near post and beats Alisson. It's a fantastic goal. It's probably, I honestly, even right now, I can't tell you out of the first and the third goal which one's my favourite, because the things I love about the third goal as well. It's such a Leeds United goal, the third goal. But this one was exactly, it was like a blueprint of what we used to do to teams last season. When we got it right, we used to score these all the time. So it's beautiful play from Jack Harrison, but a great assist from Calvin Phillips as well, who is finding the pockets of space early in the first half that we needed to find to start our attacks, because he is, I hate to use this term because I think it's it doesn't really apply and it's a bit ridiculous, but he is the quarterback of the Leeds United team. He picks the passes, he sees the plays, he sees the runs in front of him, and he's constantly trying to find Jack Harrison on that far side, because he knows when he hits that long ball that Harrison's got the ability to bring it down perfectly and set off on a run and create a chance. So yeah, it was a spectacular, and it was great to respond that quickly as well, because it was only like 7 or 8 minutes after the Liverpool penalty. So you'd think we started off quite shaky the first 5 minutes or so, but then we got into the rhythm of it and scored a fantastic goal to get ourselves back on level terms. So it was a great goal.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable goal, and it was no surprise as well, really, because as you say, we were really pegged back in the first 5 to 10 minutes or so. Liverpool really did have us, it was really, really shaky. When Liverpool went up after 4 minutes, you were thinking, all right, here we go. We're going to get slapped here now. This is just the start of many to come. And at that point as well, I wasn't really that bothered. I was just thinking, yeah, of course, we're not down this early. It's the way at Liverpool. You're just thinking, all right, we're going to get slapped here. But yeah, after about 5 or 10 minutes, we slowly started getting into the game. I think Helder Costa scored at one point, didn't he? But that was ruled out for offside correctly as well. But yeah, this goal here. So Liverpool, they were playing a really high line, weren't they, during the game, which is something they've brought into the game, playing a really high line. And Leeds United got, round the back of them, really, really, quite a lot in this game. But I know this was a fantastic goal, fantastic ball from Calvin Phillips. And then Jack Harrison, fantastic first touch. He's got the best first touch I've ever seen, taking it round 3 Liverpool defenders and finishing it off with his weaker right foot. Just a fantastic goal to open to score Leeds United's first Premier League goal in 16 years. It was a fantastic way to equalise there. On 20 minutes, Liverpool made it 2-1. Van Dijk with a free header in the box. We touched upon this earlier. Poor defending here and poor goalkeeping really as well. I feel as though Meslier probably should have done better here.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of too far back. He should have been further forward, and he maybe could have got something on it. But yeah, it was just horrendous marking. And I know Robertson and Alexander-Arnold are arguably the best set piece takers in the Premier League. But it's poor marking to not mark arguably the most dangerous centre halves.
Yeah, definitely.
From corners, because not you need to be stuck to Van Dijk like glue at corners. You need to be so far in his personal space you can tell what aftershave he's wearing. If you're not that close to him, he's gonna score. Because that's what he does. He scored. I think I can't remember the stat. I think he scored 2 more goals than every other centre half in the league since 2018. So he is a very much a danger from set pieces, and we didn't do enough to put him off or to prevent him from scoring. So yeah, this was a poor goal. It was a goal that annoyed me somewhat. Apologies for that.
No worries. So I thought it was a criminal defending, really, to keep Van Dijk unmarked. I mean, I think Robin does get blocked off, so we can't really, track Van Dijk all the way there. But someone probably should have covered for him, should have seen it and gone onto Van Dijk, seeing as though Robin did lose him. But I thought it was criminal defending, really, and Liverpool 2-1 ahead after 20 minutes. But Leeds equalise again on 30 minutes here. Dallas playing a long ball over the top, looking for Bamford. Van Dijk makes a mistake, and the ball ends up with Bamford, and he finishes really, really well. Very Beckford-esque, really. it was a really nice finish from Bamford.
Yeah, it was kind of. It reminded me of the Beckford goal at the Stretford end, where the ball is put into a position where it's too far out from the goalkeeper for him to kind of get to it, and there's too much pressure on the centre half to get hold of it correctly. Realistically, Van Dijk should put his foot through that, and give away a corner, or hopefully a throw-in. I say hopefully for him a throw-in, but he decides that he would rather try and take control of it and bring it down and spin away, which I think he got described by the commentary team as too arrogant by Virgil van Dijk. And I think he was a little bit arrogant by him.
Yeah.
He can't, because he did give more than a sniff of a chance. He literally touched it right into Bamford's path. And I know it's on Bamford's weak foot, which he almost never shoots on.
Yeah,
I think in the interview after the game, Bamford was saying he was annoyed that he didn't shoot, with the first opportunity, the one he had before this. So he decided he was going to shoot regardless. So, and he has a pot shot on it. Obviously, it chips off at Alisson's leg and just rolls into the far corner. And then it's absolutely game on then, because they've got to come at us again, and we can exploit the space they leave behind.
Yeah, this was so incredible. Just to see Bamford score away at Anfield is just absolutely incredible. But 3 minutes later, it was 3-2 to Liverpool. Mo Salah with a strike, and no stopping this goal. The only place that the ball could have gone in the net, because every other part of the goal was covered. The only place to put the ball in the net, Mo Salah found it right in that top right-hand corner. There was no stopping this. Fantastic strike, really, from Mo Salah.
It is a very, very, very good strike, and it's absolutely unsavable. Although I think Meslier doesn't get too far away from it, to be honest. Looking,
no, he doesn't.
I don't know if you've seen it's if he's a little bit quicker, I think he might get a fingertip to it. But we did this, as I mentioned earlier. We did this a couple of times from set pieces. They would whip a ball in, and we would. Every Leeds defender would rush to try and beat Van Dijk in the air, and most of the time, when there's that many people, you do beat him. We did beat him in the air, but we headed it straight to the edge of the box, and then you've got Mane and Salah and Firmino all waiting there to pick up the scraps, and it's a great touch from Salah, and then he just slams it in, and it's unsavable, really, and a really, really good finish. But we have to, when you're doing that. I know it's Struijk, and I know he hasn't played much, and I know it's Liverpool away, and I'm taking all these things into account, and I'm going to say some really positive things when we go on to talk about the rest of the play. But when that ball's whipped in, no one else gets near it. He gets straight to it. Just head it behind. Just chip it off the top of your head, head it behind the corner. I know we were poor for set pieces, but if you given that kind of opportunity to Salah on the edge of the box, the form that he's capable of, the form he's clearly in, he's going to score. So, and there's corners, a bit more chance they might not. So it was a bit of a defensive error, but and they were back in front, and I was to be honest, I think I said to my cousin and my brother who I was sat watching it with, I think it'll be I would probably take this. I said this at the time. I would take 3-2 at the end of the game, because I thought it was only going to get worse. I didn't realise that we would then go on to equalise, which we'll talk about in a second. I thought, right, this is the best case scenario of 3-2. It could be 4, it could be 5-2. So I hope we can get out of here with 3-2. So and then obviously it hit half time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got a point there with that goal, but I just think. I think Struijk did the best he could with that header. I just think it's just a world-class goal from Mo Salah, really. Just a world-class goal. A word on Elan Meslier, though. Even though Meslier conceded 4 goals, and he probably should have done better with that Van Dijk goal, I thought Meslier was really, really good in this game. For what, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, first game in the Premier League. You got Firmino, Mane, and Salah, chasing you. And he's on the ball, and he's just so comfortable pinging it out, to whoever he wants. I thought he made some really good stops. There was at one point in the first half where Struijk almost scored the best own goal I've ever seen. And Meslier ended up getting back well to save it. I thought Meslier was really, really good in this game. Really, really good, especially for, as I say, a 20-year-old. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, he had a good game. Penalties are a lottery, really. You can't judge
exactly. Yeah,
a goalkeeper on penalties, because any competent forward player scores penalties. So you, apart from Bamford away at QPR last season, So yeah, so you can't judge keepers on penalties, and obviously the Salah's second one is pretty much unsavable. So yeah, he could have done better with the Van Dijk goal, but he did have a good performance.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, back onto the game. So it was 3-2 at half time. Leeds were great in the second half, really were good. As you said earlier, probably from 50 to around 70 or 80 minutes, Leeds, we really were, in control of the game. I'd say we were really comfortable on the ball, passing it around the back and then just pinging balls out, trying to find players. Jack Harrison did end up scoring in the second half, got the ball in the back of the net, chipping Allison, but it was unfortunately
it wasn't technically his
for...
goal. It was Alexander-Arnold heading it into his own net, which was a bit more comedy from the game.
Yeah. But, a very good chip from Jack Harrison, really. And, disappointed that it wasn't, that it was ruled out, but it was ruled out correctly for offside, really. But yeah, Leeds did equalise for the third time on 66 minutes. Held Acosta here on the right, finding Mataush Klich free in the box, who took a great first touch and volleyed the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. This was a fantastic goal, a fantastic move, and a fantastic finish from Klich.
Well, yeah, I want to talk about the build-up a bit first a bit more, because it comes off. We make a kind of a long punted, a long ball punted down their right flank, our left flank, and it goes out for the throw-in, and they throw it back in. I think it's Cocker wins the defensive header and knocks it forward, and he manages to get it to Calvin Phillips. It's great strength and a great turn from him to turn away from his man in midfield. Obviously, he finds Klich, and Klich knocks it out wide to Costa into a bit more space. And then if you watch the movement, it's perfect, because I don't know whether it's I think it's Curtis Jones and Wijnaldum that are supposed to be keeping an eye on Klich in midfield, and he makes a brilliant run, and you can see him indicating to Costa while he's moving. He makes a diving from through the midfield. Obviously, he leaves Van Dijk, miles away from him. He makes a perfect run, and Costa spots him and finds him in the pass, and it is a really, I mean, the touch is arguably better than the finish. The touch is superb. And then obviously blasts it in the far corner, and that's 3-3, and you're thinking this. I mean, everyone was kind of making the Viduka references at this point, but I was laughing about that. So I saw people tweeting we should bring Matt Viduka on at this point. Matt Viduka in his mid-40s or late 40s, whatever he's in. But it was a superb goal, but it all comes from their throw-ins. It's great anticipation, it's great strength, it's working it into space, and it's finding the gaps in their defence, because they were, at this point in the game, they were lead. So I think it was the 66th minute, so in that 20-minute window where we were at our best in the game. It's a brilliant pass from Costa as well, because he finds him perfectly. The pass is weighted well. If anything, there's slightly too much on it, which means that the touch, the quality of the touch from Klich is required. But then it's a great volley into the corner.
Really
Allison kind of sees it late and can't really get across to it, and it's and then we kind of had them shell shocked for a bit. Obviously, they regained their rhythm eventually, but we were properly in the ascendancy at that point.
Yeah, and it was a really good goal. I loved everything about this goal, really. Probably poor defending from Liverpool, not to track the run of Klich. But, I liked everything about this goal, everything you've said. But there were two things that you didn't mention that I really like. So first, when Klich makes the run, you can see Tyler Roberts making the run into that space as well. So that's two players noticing the, loads of space in that box. They both make the run, but Klich ends up getting it first before Tyler Roberts does. So I quite like that, seeing Tyler Roberts make that run as well. But also, you mentioned that Phillips laid it off to Klich. It wasn't Phillips; it was Rodrigo. I really like this. So Phillips, he looked like he'd won the ball really, but there was a Liverpool player to his right hand side, and Rodrigo's there in front. And what Rodrigo does is run to the ball, barge Phillips out of the way, and lays the ball off to Klich. And I just love that. An experienced player with all the experience he has, to go, all right, I'm taking charge here. I'm going to lay this ball off to Klich, and he can start a move here. I thought that was fantastic, because usually, you wouldn't see Bamford doing that. Usually, I think, anyone else would have just, all right, Phillips, you've got to do something with it. But Rodrigo, his experienced head, was like, all right, I'm going to take charge here. And he did. He barged Cam Phillips out of the way, laid the ball off to Klich, and then Klich started the move. So I thought it was really good play from Rodrigo here. And Rodrigo, what do you make of him on his debut? I thought it wasn't. I didn't think it was too bad.
He had a bit of a mixed game. I thought I thought he did some things very well, but I thought we had a bit more presence up top when Bamford was on the pitch. I thought we were finding Bamford more. I thought we didn't really see enough of Rodrigo on the ball. A lot of his movement was good. A lot of his tracking was good. We didn't see enough of him on the ball. But I think by that point, by the time we went 3-3, Liverpool were properly putting on pressure. Once it got to kind of the late 70th, in the minutes, and up to the 80th minute onwards, they were kind of piling on the pressure at that point. So he didn't really get much service, but he did. Yeah, his movement, his layoffs were good. We just need to see a bit more of him on the ball. I don't know whether he'll start tomorrow. I said tomorrow. We're recording this on Tuesday, so it'll be Wednesday night for the game we're going to discuss shortly. The whole game in the Carabao Cup, whether or not he'll start there. But I'd love to see more of him on the ball.
Yeah. So did I. I thought his movement was great. As I say, the pick out, in the third goal. But we didn't really see that much of him on the ball, to be fair. So can't really say too much about Rodrigo's debut, to be honest. Van Dijk thought he had made it 4-3 to Liverpool from a corner, but it was ruled out for a challenge on Rockin' Robin. And I don't know about this. Was it a foul, do you think, on Robin, or do you think it wasn't? Do you think the goal should have stood?
I mean, this for me, I know obviously I'm going to get called biased again, but Curtis Jones literally grabs him and trips him up as he's running towards Van Dijk. I think he must have been caught complaining about the first goal, the first Van Dijk goal, to the referee after they scored it. I think the referee was watching him, and Curtis Jones. It's not like Mane's, where Mane just runs past him in front of him to block him off. Curtis Jones actually grapples him. Grabs his arms and then and kind of shoves him over. So I think the referee does spot that, and I think the goal is fairly disallowed.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't have stood for me. But we had to be better at set pieces. We looked really vulnerable all night to set pieces, and you think out of everything that we could train to be better at, set pieces are the most trainable thing. Because they are, you just have to. It's so repeatable.
Should we bring back Gianni Vio?
No, he's long gone for a reason. That one free kick away at Burton Albion. that was Gianni Vio's entire contribution. No, that was literally this goal was fairly disallowed, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. But defending from set pieces has to get better. It really, really does. But Liverpool did make it 4-3 on 88 minutes. Marcelo completed his hat-trick, tucking away a penalty after Rodrigo brought down Fabinho in the box. And no argument against this, really. It was a definite foul from Rodrigo. A typical striker's challenge, really. So, nothing to complain about here. And, Liverpool ended up winning 4-3. Disappointing, because I did feel as though, Leeds United did really deserve a point, to be honest. But what a game of football. Just what a game of football. It had everything. Mo Salah hat-trick, a few mistakes and plenty of goals, 7 goals. So, it was just a fantastic game, really. Thrilling game to watch. For newly promoted Leeds United to go away to the reigning champions Liverpool and put in a performance like that was just really, really special. And as I say, the players did us so proud. The game drew 2.5 million viewer average on the day. It peaked at 3 million viewers, beating every game from last season, which is incredible. It just shows, how big of a club Leeds United actually are and how many people really want to watch Leeds United, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was also I think it's the most watched ever football game in America, the USA.
Really?
I think it's the most watched ever game.
Incredible.
There. Obviously, they call it the S word, but we're not going to swear on this podcast.
Soccer.
So it's football. Oh, don't say that.
Soccer.
I hate that word. It's horrible. That noise as well. Yeah. Right. It was. I mean, it was very entertaining. It was box office, and with the way that both teams are going at each other for the neutral, it must have been a spectacular watch. So it was a spectacular watch for me, and I was invested in it, as were you. So it was wildly entertaining. I hope we're on the right side of a few of them results this season, though.
Yeah. I mean, it feels weird, doesn't it? We lost the game 4-3. Usually, you should be disappointed, but I was just in awe of what I saw. Leeds United were just really, really incredible. And yeah, it was a really, really weird feeling because on the Sunday, usually after the day after a loss, I'm absolutely fuming, but I really wasn't here. I really wasn't. I really, wasn't too bothered that we lost. It was disappointing on the day, but, in reality, you expect us to lose to Liverpool, but it was just a thrilling game of football to watch. So, yeah, can't really complain too much. The table is pretty irrelevant right now, but Leeds United are 13th after playing one game. Now, Charles, we predicted a mid-table finish for Leeds in the last podcast, but after that game, have you changed your mind? Do you think Leeds United will now finish in the top half, or maybe even top 6 after that?
No, I think that's it's wishful thinking. I'm going to stand by my mid-table prediction because I think I can't see us finishing that high. I think it may be higher in the mid-table than I expected it to be. It might be 10th to 13th rather than 13th to 15th. I'll concede it may be a higher mid-table finish, but I'm still expecting us to finish no higher than mid-table. I think there's a lot of very quality players and very quality sides who are more established at this level. And I think it would be a bit naive and fanciful to think that we're going to finish any higher than mid-table.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say it on record now. Leeds United are getting top 10. Leeds United are finishing in the top half. I'm going to say it on record now. I'm going to stick by it. Leeds United are finishing in the top half this season, 100%.
I would like to put on record that I'm very happy to be made a mug in this. If we record a podcast at the end of the season and we finish where Ed's predicting us to finish, I'm very happy to be made to look like a mug right now. For my team to finish in the top 10, I can't quite see it.
Yeah. I'm just still in awe. I mean, what a start! What a start to the season. Well, let's now have a look at how the Leeds United under-23s have done this week. They started their PL2 campaign away at Stoke City on Monday night. The game was streamed live on Stoke City's YouTube channel. And it was a pretty poor stream, really. There was no commentary or anything. It was literally just the match. And it appeared as though Stoke City could not afford floodlights either. It was so dark you could not see the game. Did you watch it?
I didn't know. I'll concede. I didn't watch it, and by the sounds of it, I was one of the lucky ones because we ended up losing 4-0, didn't we? It was apparently we played quite well. It was just the fact that we had no defenders. You can't play a game with a back four of entirely fullbacks. It doesn't work. You need centre halves. It's a crucial position in the team. There's a reason people always play with centre halves.
Yeah.
So and once again conceding off a corner and off a penalty. What the first team do appears to be dripping down into the 23s, conceding crap set pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about it though, because I think Mark Jackson has just taken over the under-23s head coach role in the last couple of days. So I'm sure he'll be getting used to because he's just made the jump up from the under-18s. So I'm sure he'll be getting them playing in a decent way. Fair play to him on the promotion. He did well with under-18s, promoting a few good names. And he'll have that new Dutch lad we're getting in we're getting from Feyenoord? I can't remember what's his name.
Feyenoord, yeah. We'll get onto all that later in the show, but Mark Jackson, fully deserved with that promotion. Hopefully, it does turn their fortunes around. But it's a new league, entirely new level for the youth team in the PL2. So I wasn't really expecting us to do great in the first few games. But I mean, to lose 4-0 was pretty poor. But not a great start to life in PL2 for the under-23s. I mean, can you see us improving? I mean, I think we certainly do need a centre back because the back four consisted of 2 right backs, a centre midfielder, and a winger. So we need some centre backs in for the under-23s, I think.
Yeah, well, they're trying to sign that Gvardiol, aren't they, from Dynamo Zagreb? So the 18-year-old Croatian centre half. So he might be the addition they're looking for. Be a very expensive addition because I think they're wanting about 17-18 million quid for him. But he might be the answer to the problems an
£18 signing for the under-23s. Incredible, eh? Unreal.
How quickly things change.
It's unreal. But not a great start to life in the PL2 for the Leeds United under-23s. Hopefully they do improve. We will be keeping a close eye on them throughout the whole season. Let's now have a look at some news, and we'll start with some transfer news. And Phil Hay of The Athletic is reporting that we should see 18-year-old Feyenoord winger Crescencio Somerville through the door at Leeds United later this week. He would be another academy addition. He is very highly rated over in Holland. The Dutch forward spent last season on loan at Eredivisie side Den Haag, where he made 22 appearances in total and scored 2 goals and got 1 assist. And the season before that, he was on loan at Dordrecht, where he scored 5 goals and got 1 assist in 18 games. Another academy addition. Again, good to see the club strengthening for the future, Charles.
Yeah, I think they're invested in youth players. I think the plan is to send the likes of Jordan Stevens on loan. I think Robbie Gotts is going on loan as well, so I think they'll be bringing in a couple of new attacking options and maybe another midfield player as well. So yeah, it's nice to see we're investing so much in the youth team, because eventually we will churn out some properly class talent from the youth teams that can make the jump, as we've seen with the likes of Struijk and the likes of Shackleton.
Yeah, and more forwards as well for these teams, which is just what they need. Leeds have been dealt with a major blow, though, in their pursuit for 18-year-old Dinamo Zagreb defender Josko Gvardiol. I think that's how you pronounce it. I ain't got a clue. So we'll call him Josko, shall we? But yeah, it's reported that Zagreb did accept a bid from Leeds United, but the player has turned down a move to the Premier League because he wants to further develop at Zagreb. So it looks like the deal is off, unfortunately. Now, I didn't really know too much about this guy. I must say, he doesn't have great stats, and, it certainly wasn't a signing that, really excited me. So I must say, I wouldn't be too disappointed if he doesn't come to Leeds. Charles, what are your thoughts on this?
I thought it was a lot of money to spend on a centre-half that is not established.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm not too disheartened about this. And if it frees more money up for, sign the likes of Rodrigo De Paul, then I'm open to not signing him, because I think that Struijk is good enough to be, a backup centre half. Once Liam Cooper comes back from injury, that will be up to 3, and I think that's probably the amount that Bielsa will want. So I'm not too disheartened by this.
No, I must say, I think that we do need another centre back as a backup centre back. I really, really do. I think get someone like Axel Tuanzebe from Manchester United on loan for the season. I think just someone like that, just bring him in on loan as another backup. That's just my personal opinion. And he can play for the 23s as well, which I think is good. I agree with you. I think splashing £18 million or so on an 18-year-old player who is unproven at a high level, I think it would be a bit silly, to be fair. So yeah, I agree with you there. But I do think that we do need another centre back in, though. I would say that.
The problem is that you only get 2 loan slots in the Premier League, and one of ours is already taken up by Jack Harrison. And I also think it will be very unlikely that Manchester United will want to send Tuanzebe on loan to Leeds for him to not play every game. And with the amount of money we've spent on Robin Koch and the fact that the other centre half we have is our captain of the football club, is not likely to make that jump. So I agree with what you said in principle. Maybe we should get another one in, but I'm fairly happy to have Struijk as a backup player. I think it'll probably be okay. I think he might need a few more games in that position, which he can hopefully get through if we make enough progression in the cups. I'd be well up for. I think he will probably start tomorrow on Wednesday against Hull, Struijk. So I think he'll get a bit more experience in that role.
Yeah, I think that's just me. I think this is just me thinking about the U23s and the fact that they need centre backs after that 4-0 defeat. Yeah, I think that's just me thinking about the U23s, to be honest. They do need centre back, so I do want another centre back in. But no, I agree. I wouldn't be too disheartened if we didn't end up getting this young man. I think splashing £18 million or so on an unproven player, would be a bit silly. So wouldn't be too disheartened, but as I say, it would be nice to happen. And I must say, there are reports saying that the deal could still happen. So we'll need to wait and see on that one. A deal that does look like it will definitely happen. There was Rodrigo De Paul to Leeds United. Leeds have been linked with De Paul all summer, really. And he does look a good player. He's a 26-year-old attacking midfielder from Argentina. He's played 6 times for the Argentina national team. He's currently at Italian top flight side Udinese. He's been there since 2016. Before that, he was at Valencia for 2 years, where he made 43 appearances and scored 1 goal. And he was there while Rodrigo was there as well. So, yeah, looks like they could be a good partnership. But during the 4 years he's been at Udinese, he's made 143 appearances, scoring 24 goals and getting 22 assists. Last season, he made 34 appearances, scoring 7 goals and getting 6 assists. He's got ridiculous in-game stats as well. He certainly would be, a good player to have. He's had the likes of Juventus looking at him this summer, but Leeds seem to be the front runners somehow. So yeah, what a signing this would be, Charles, to get Rodrigo De Paul. What a signing it would be.
Yeah, I mean, on Monday night of this week, he indicated that he was hoping that the two clubs can come to an agreement. I think the problem is that Udinese want 35 to 40 million euros. And I think Leeds are not willing to offer much more than kind of 25 to 30 million euros plus a few add-ons. So yeah, there's a bit of a disagreement in the valuation there, and I think it's because Rodrigo has been interviewed recently saying we need 2 more players, and the budget we've got is 40 to 50 million for those players. So I think he's trying to get De Paul in for 25 plus a few add-ons plus another 25 million pound player. So I think he's the kind of player that if we were going to sign him, he would be our final signing of the window. I do think it would be a fantastic sign, and you're right, and he's got good in-game stats, and he's involved in a lot of. He's probably one of the best central midfield players in the Serie A, really, especially when you're playing for a team like Udinese, which who are about as big as Watford. So that they're not expected to compete at the highest levels in the Serie A, but he's always highly involved in chance creation and build-ups and a lot of key passes and things. So he's really a really quality player. If you want my opinion, I think we should just pay the money. I think he's good enough. I think he'll suit the system. I think he's exactly what we're looking for, and he will be hopefully able to replace Pablo Hernandez in the lineup once Pablo can no longer play, because I thought Pablo was fairly ineffective against Liverpool. I'm not sure whether that was just because of the quality of the opposition or whether he just couldn't really get involved as much. Sometimes Pablo has those types of games, but it is down to fatigue as well, because Pablo can't play every game this season. So I personally would just stump up the extra 7 or 8 million euros, whatever it's going to cost, and from what we've offered, and sign him.
Yeah, I agree. I think De Paul would be a quality signing, and Radvazani just needs to get the money out of his pocket, really, and just pay it, because I think it would be an unreal signing. And the Argentina international, how many times can you say you've got an Argentina international in your side? So it would be an incredible signing, and we do need him as well. We don't really have much competition for that number 10 role, really, where he does play attacking midfield. I think would suit the system perfectly. I mean, as I say, we don't have much competition. Pablo Hernandez is there, but he's 35 years old. Probably needs, either backup or someone just to, take over him in the starting 11, and Pablo can sit on the bench. Because, I agree with you. Pretty ineffective, really, against Liverpool. Didn't really see him too many times during that game. So, I think De Paul, it's definitely a player who we need in that position, and I think it would be a quality signing. And Leeds United just do need to get money out and pay. As you were hinting at earlier, De Paul, he has been very active on social media. The move has really picked up pace over the last few weeks, as De Paul has liked a few Leeds United related tweets, but then unliked them as well, which was quite unusual. And then he's put little Leeds United related things in his Instagram stories as well. So, he's teasing the move himself, is De Paul. He really, really is teasing the move, to be fair. But what got a lot of people very excited was what happened on Monday evening. So the Square Ball have been tweeting De Paul every day and night, really, saying, "I hope you're doing good, and I hope we see you in Leeds soon." Hoping that De Paul would reply, and he did. So the Square Ball on Monday night tweeted, apparently De Paul is keen on the move, but and now rest with the club. And De Paul replied, "Yes." So yes, and since then De Paul has deleted the tweet, and he has deactivated his Twitter account. So I don't know what's going on there, but it looks like the move will almost certainly happen, but it is only if Leeds United do give Udinese what they want, and it is reported to be around 35 to 40 million pounds. And yeah, Charles, Leeds just need to give Udinese the money, don't they? They just need to give him it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The price is the price at the end of the day. They're not going to sell for below what they want to sell him for. So I think with how crucial signing he could be and how good he could be, I think we just need to pay the money.
Yeah, 100%. And it looks like De Paul wants to come to Leeds. Probably the Bielsa factor, really. And I like that, I like, I want players who want to play for Leeds, and De Paul seems like he does want to come to Leeds. So, I do quite like that. However, though, do we really want a player who, during transfer speculation, likes tweets and unlikes tweets? Do we really want that?
I think, well, I mean, what happened with Ben Rama earlier in the window, wasn't it? He did that kind of ridiculous montage video with, drones and getting his hair cut and also and showing off his house and stuff. And part of the Leeds hierarchy, according to Phil Hay at least, we're really not, in favour of that kind of thing. But I think it's just, I think Udinese have resigned to selling him. I think they're just choosing who they're going to sell him to. So they're not included him in the last few squads. This happens at the top level with players. Like, I remember, when Charlie Taylor left, he didn't play in the last couple of games of the season of the Monk season because he wanted to leave, and he didn't want to get injured. So it does happen with players. So Chris Wood, he didn't play. Was it Sunderland away? He didn't play when we were selling him. So players do this. So unfortunately it's the modern game, isn't it? It's what happens. Yeah, I can't say I'm hugely fond of players being on social media in general. I think it's a mistake. I think it has very few positive impacts, and I think there's a lot of downsides, a lot of negativity, which can sometimes get to players. If I was a professional footballer, I don't think I'd be on social media because I think you just get too much stick, and I think no matter how good you are and strong you are mentally, if you're taking horrible stick and abuse most days, then it does get to you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about active players on social media, but he's a good player, and this is just how players are these days. So I don't. Yeah, it wouldn't, completely put me off signing him.
Yeah, I must say before all this, when he was just liking and unliking tweets, I really did think it was just his agent going, "Oh, go on, like a few of these tweets, get everyone talking, and we'll get a few bids up." But no, it does seem, it does seem like De Paul does want to come to Leeds, and it literally is down to Leeds United, whether they'll spend the money. So. Yeah, hopefully that does happen. De Paul certainly would be an exciting signing. So hopefully Leeds United can get that one over the line. In other news, Mark Jackson has been named the new Leeds United under-23s head coach, as we were discussing earlier. He was previously the under-18s head coach. So yeah, great to see the club awarding coaches who are already at the club, the Nova club, and giving the promotions. It's really good to see.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned it earlier. Yeah, I agree with the kind of it's what Liverpool used to do for years throughout the 70s and 80s and early 90s. They just used to promote from within the club. They promoted these people from within the club themselves, and they were very successful. And I think it can be successful even in the modern game. Yeah. I think we'll see how Carlos Corbrand does at Huddersfield. I think promoting from within coaches and giving people chances is better than just bringing in complete unknown sometimes. Although saying that, we are managed by Bielsa, who was, to most of us at least, a complete unknown. So it can work, but you also, for every Bielsa, you get a Darko Milanic. So in fact, there's probably 3 Darko Milanics for every Bielsa in this world. So it can work sometimes, promoted from within.
Yeah, and I think it's very good to see, Leeds United promoting Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson has done a fantastic job with the under-18s. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased for him. So many congratulations and good luck to Mark Jackson, the new head coach of the Leeds United under-23s. In other news, take us home. Leeds United returns to Amazon Prime Video this Thursday, the 17th of September, just for 2 45-minute episodes in this second series, which covers the 2019-20 season. And I'm quite looking forward to this. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer it if it's longer than 2 episodes, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the 2 episodes, and it'll be a lot more entertaining the last couple of episodes of the last season. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be a happy ending. I'm certainly going to enjoy watching this. I am surprised though that it is only 2 45 minutes episodes. I thought it would be a bit longer. But to be honest, I covered a few press conferences last season, and at the start of the season, I always saw them. But then, as the season progressed, they were never really there. So I think they stopped filming at one point really and gave up on it. But they started again, and obviously due to the pandemic, they wouldn't have done as many talking heads with Leeds United fans. So probably not as much footage this time around. But I am still surprised that it is only 2 episodes. But 2 45-minute episodes, easy to watch, get it over and done within 2 hours. It'll be a fun watch. I'm very looking forward to this. Should be very good. The first series was excellent, so looking forward to the second series. Elsewhere, this is quite old news, really, but we haven't discussed it on the podcast, so we'll discuss it here. Mateusz Klich has been busy spray painting outside of the ground. The other week, he spray painted an awesome Champions design on a wall outside the northeast corner. It looks absolutely awesome. Klich is a man of many talents, it seems.
Yeah, well, I knew about this because he mentioned it in an interview on The Athletic with Phil Hayes. He's very much a fan of Polish rap and Polish street art. So, it didn't surprise me that he'd done something like this. But when I was told, but it's fantastic to see. I'm loving the amount of street art that's going on in Leeds at the moment. In reference to Leeds United, obviously, there's a new Bielsa one at Hyde Park Corner, which is if you've not seen that, you should go see it. It's not far from where my house is. It's ridiculously good, and I've really been enjoying it, and I think it's we have to credit a friend of the podcast, Andy McVeigh, for popularising Leeds United street art. And
he did a really good one recently. A big Bielsa mural on the side of a Asda over in Armley, which is quite near me. That's a fantastic design. If you live around Armley and Newfoundland, Wortley, then definitely go up and see that. It's a fantastic designer. Big shout out to Andy McVeigh, also known as the Billy Banksy, for I think probably starting all the Leeds United street art. It's really picked up, and it's fantastic seeing Mateusz Klich designing stuff. He's always liked graffiti, he said. So happy to see the club allowing Klich to do this. Really, I thought it's really good, and if you get a chance to go down to Elland Road and see the design, do it. It is a very, very good design. Also down at Elland Road, the first part of the Centenary Square outside of the Centenary Pavilion has been completed. So if you have a breakdown there, check your emails and you will know exactly where it is and where to find it. Mine is down there and it looks really, really good. I really like the look of Centenary Square. I highly recommend anyone going down to the ground to have a look. It really, really does look impressive, does Centenary Square. And finally, if you follow me on Twitter at ed_McIntyre98, make sure you go follow. But if you already follow me, you would have seen that we've won an award recently. So as some of you may know, I studied sports journalism for 3 years at Leeds Trinity University. And for one of the modules in third year, this whole brand, I guess you could say, All Things Leeds, counted towards it. And a few weeks ago, I got a lovely email which said that I had won the Yorkshire Evening Post Prize for Local Digital Journalism Excellence. Only 5 were assessed by a judging panel, and mine won, which is unbelievable. I had no idea this was happening, so it was a real shock. And fantastic. Really, really happy with all this. Alex Evans, head of Live and Trending for Yorkshire Post newspapers, said of my work, Ed's submission showed a lot of creativity and hard graft. He put together the most content-rich website of the lot, populated with a well-sourced, smartly edited video and podcast content in a neatly designed site with a good UI. There are more than 70 episodes of his podcast and some impressive interviewees, as well as the video and podcast content. Ed showed off his sports writing talents with pieces such as the interview with the Billy Banksy and chats with former players alongside match previews and transfer news. The site is engaging and highly relevant to our local audience, and it also makes good use of social media, integrating a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The prize was judged based on the following criteria: local relevance, interesting content, engagement hook, and aesthetic. And I will receive a certificate for this prize. and have the achievement covered by the YUP and get a week's remote work experience at the YUP, which I'm very much looking forward to. And yeah, absolutely awesome with this. I had no idea, as I say, that this was happening. I'm really, really happy with this. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to win this, without everyone who's been on the podcast, who I've been able to interview. You, Charles, wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Of course, you've been on the podcast with me from the very start. So thank you very much for being with me. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Thank you very much. So everyone who, has been on the podcast, who have interviewed, who's helped writing, Johnny Chick, big shout out to him, the writer on All Things Leeds, and he's done a few videos as well. And yeah, Charles as well. Big thank you to you, the co-host of the All Things Leeds podcast. Would not have been able to win this award without you. So yeah, from me to everyone else, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, let's now look ahead to Leeds United's next two games. The first is taking place on Wednesday night against League One side Hull City at Elland Road in round 2 of the Carabao Cup. Charles, are you expecting many changes for this game?
Bielsa's made changes for the Cup in the past, and I wouldn't be surprised to see, Struijk start. The Struijk will almost definitely start due to the William Cooper probably not being recovered from his thigh injury. Jamie Shackleton will probably start. I anticipate Rodrigo will probably start. Yeah, Barry Douglas will probably start. So yeah, I think there'll be quite a few changes in the team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Whether or not Matthias Click will be starting or Calvin Phillips, I don't know. I would expect Ian Poveda. I think he will start as well. So I'm looking forward to this. I really do want to beat Hull, because as funny as it is them being in League One, and I really didn't want to. I was a bit gutted about this cup draw, because I was looking forward to not playing Hull for a very long time, and that has already been ruined. So yeah, I just want to get this game out of the way and knock them out of the cup. They're not very good for a reason. They came bottom of the Championship last season. We finished top of the Championship. They employed Matthew Pennington. They're just awful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite looking forward to it, because our second team is going to absolutely batter Hull City, so I'm quite looking forward to that. I am expecting quite a lot of changes. Kiko Xie will probably start. McCalmont in midfield, maybe in for Calvin Phillips, hopefully. Jimmy Shackleton in for Click, I think. Poveda will probably start. Rodrigo will probably start, which will be insane against a League One side Hull City. And then someone pointed out as well that Cresswell and Casey may feature, as they did not play for the Under-23s on Monday night. So Cresswell and Casey may feature, which will be really good. Cresswell, I'm very, very impressed with. We were impressed with him in that Man United game in the Youth Cup, the Under-18s a few months ago. Yeah, very, very good was Cresswell. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And yeah, I think there will be, a few changes. Still some first teamers in there, but I'm expecting, a few changes. But, Bielsa, he does respect the competition. He may want a cup run. Do you want a cup run, Charles? I think it would be nice to have a cup run, but probably the priority is just to stay in the Premier League, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the games there's not as many games this year, but due to the fact that this has been a late start of the season, the games are starting more compressed. So I always enjoy a cup run. I don't enjoy being knocked out of competitions, but especially the Carabao Cup. It's not a big thing to me. I'm not going to be devastated, but if we get knocked out, but especially even if we beat Hull, we've already had the second round draw has been completed, and we'll be facing either West Ham or Charlton. More than likely, it will be West Ham. So we'll play twice in the league anyway. So we're not playing it's not like we're waiting on playing, like an Arsenal or a Liverpool or a Man City in the next round. Even if we beat Hull, and I'm including the word "if" there, because I'm not deluded. It's still going to be a game of football, and there's still going to be corners, so we could still concede some goals. But yeah, I'm not entirely thrilled about this game or about seeing the word Hull, to be honest. But I just want to get past it and not play them anymore. The whole point of getting promoted out of the Championship was to not play Wickham or Hull or Charlton or Preston North End again. I don't want to play any of these people.
I probably agree. But we should win, shouldn't we, really? Grant McCann's Hull City, a dreadful team, of course, finished rock bottom of the Championship last season, where we finished top. Hull are now playing in League One. They did beat Gillingham 2-0 away in their opening league fixture of the season, but we should really beat them. We're 2 leagues above them now, 2 leagues above Hull City now. So, it probably would be a bit embarrassing to lose against these, really. So, we should probably beat them, to be honest. And now Leeds have a great record against Hull. 1 loss in the last 8 games against them, 5 wins and 2 draws. We, of course, did a double over Hull City last season, winning 2-0 at home and 4-0 away from home. So what's your score prediction here, Charles? What's your score prediction?
2-1 Leeds.
I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds. I think I'm hoping we keep a clean sheet. 2-0 Leeds. We should win, really. And as you touched on, then if we do win, we either play West Ham or Charlton Athletic away in round 3 of the Carabao Cup, a London game. A game away in London is definitely on the cards if we go through. So who would we prefer to play, either Charlton or West Ham? Who would we prefer to play?
I don't really. Neither. I don't want to go to London. We always lose in London. I don't want to go there. I mean, West Ham. I probably prefer to play. We've got a terrible record against Charlton, though. That's the thing. We've got an awful record against Charlton. So probably West Ham being slightly more entertaining. Although we'll have to go to that horrible fishbowl stadium of theirs. So
yeah. Neither
of the ties really excite me. So
redraw. We demand a redraw.
It's very much a meh tie. It's a meh tie.
Yeah, I mean, I think West Ham versus Leeds will be pretty entertaining, to be fair, 2 big clubs. But we'll need to wait and see what happens on Wednesday night. And the game is not on Sky or BT or BBC on an ITV. So if you do want to watch the game, the Carabao Cup Round 2 game at home against Hull City on Wednesday night, go to the Carabao Cup website. You can buy a match pass for £10. We'll leave a link in the description below. And we'll wait and see how Leeds United do there. Let's now look ahead to this weekend's game, which is at home to Fulham in the Premier League. And I know it's probably crazy saying this as we're only 2 games in, but this is a must-win, isn't it?
If you're going to stay in the league, and that has to be the main goal until we've secured, safety from relegation, then we can figure out. Then we can focus on, finishing as high as possible. Then we have to beat the teams that will likely be down around us, which will be your games against Fulham, your West Hams, your West Broms, your Aston Villas. You need to be winning those games. So they got battered 3-0 at the weekend by Arsenal, with Arsenal kind of in second gear, really. We slapped them 3-0 last time when we played them at Elland Road. So I want to. I would agree it's a must win. Yeah, we do. We need to get some points on the board, and this is a fantastic opportunity to do it because we're playing Wolves and Sheffield United and Man City very shortly, which are all going to be very, very tough games. So you need to win your winnable games and then try and nick points from your less winnable games. So this is a very winnable game. So I think we have to get 3 points from this.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's a definite must win. The reality is, we are a newly promoted side. We probably will be down there. We're fighting for survival, so we do need all the points we can get. And teams like Fulham, are the teams that we're competing against to stay up, really. So, we do need to beat these kind of teams, really. I would say that it is a must win on Saturday. Now, Scott Parker's Fulham, they are a decent side, but they did get off to a poor start in the league, losing 3-0 at home to Arsenal at the weekend. It should be interesting. Fulham will be raring to go and wanting to bounce back from that really poor defeat. But I'm quite confident after that Liverpool game. Now I am quite confident after that. So we'll need to wait to see. But I would definitely say it is a must win. The team for you, do you think it'll be an unchanged lineup from that Liverpool game?
I would hope that, given the minor nature of Liam Cooper's thigh strain, that he'll be fit enough to start against Fulham. But otherwise, I would keep things very much the same. I thought the team performed well. I can't see any reason to change this.
I 100% agree. I thought Leeds were fantastic against Liverpool. So I'd probably expect an unchanged lineup unless Liam Cooper's fit, and then he would, of course, go in. Now, Leeds have a decent record against Fulham, just 2 losses in 8. with 5 draws and the 1 win. We, of course, beat them 3-0 at home last season. That was, of course, after the lockdown as well in the restart. So, we've already beaten Fulham in the restart. We beat them a few months ago. So, what's your score prediction for this game? Do you think we'll win this?
I got a feeling we will win this one. Probably 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to go the same score as last season, 3-0. I'm confident about this. I reckon we'll do them again. Yeah, 3-0 to Leeds United. I'm going to go for. Hopefully, Leeds United can pick up all 3 points on Saturday. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 74 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
And thank you as well to everyone who has watched or listened. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. Share the podcast around as well. It really does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds on Facebook. And search All Things Leeds on YouTube as well to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Charles and I will be back next week. So for now, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.